Northern Cape Education MEC Zolile Monakali is visiting the Garies High School following a 3-week-long shutdown. Parents shut down the school, saying the department has failed to appoint a history and technology teacher for matric learners, as well as hostel cooks, cleaners and a matron. The parents have warned they will not back down until all vacancies at the school have been filled. SABC reporter Reginald Witbooi brings us the story live from Garies.
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Nom Pumelelo. Firstly, I must say that it's 41 degrees out here in Garies, here in the Northern Cape. So I'm not going to stand too long in this scorcher. So the MEC of the Northern, of the education MEC here in the Northern Cape, Zolile Monakali, he met with the parents, the school governing body, the principal, and also teachers earlier on to hear their concerns as to why the school has been closed for 3 weeks now. Earlier on, I also spoke to a learner, and the learner's a grade 9 learner. She said that she just wants to return to school because she's losing out on critical teaching and learning time, and we know that especially matric learners here in the Northern Cape, they can't afford to even lose out on education, because last year we saw that the Northern Cape came in last out of all the provinces when it came to the matric results with 66%. But I'm going to bring in the MEC now. Good afternoon to you, MEC. Thank you for your time. You heard what the parents said earlier on, raising their grievances. They also told me earlier on that they wrote to the Department of Education numerous times. Why is it that the Education Department is only coming out today to hear what they have to say?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Yes, I received a complaint from Garies High School from the SGB about 2 weeks ago about the shortage of educators in the school. The district office was paying attention to the issue, but when they informed my office that the SGB has closed the school, I made an appointment to come and visit the school already last week. But the SGB informed me because of the CPS allowances payment, we could not come last week, and we only came today to hear what the SGB is saying, what the educators and the parents are saying, why the schools has been closed.
What is the way forward now?
What we have agreed that the educators and the SBL has been indicating to us that there's a shortage of educators, but we indicated to them that educators are given to schools based on the educators and teacher and learners ratio. The school has got 227 learners, and the school qualifies for 8 educators. But we already had an additional educator, so they had 9 educators. But after engagement with the SGB, we agreed to provide them with 2 more additional educators so that we can make sure that the teaching and learning should continue, and then they should open the gates for the learners to come to school.
The other issue is at the hostel with no cleaners, cooks and a matron. How are you going to solve that problem at the boys' hostel?
The SBL indicated to me that the boys and the girls' hostel is in shortage of staff because there are 2 different buildings. There are only 6 staff members for both hostels, and then we agreed then that the general assistants that has been employed in the education initiative, we will then increase or extend their contract to the end of the year so that they can be of assistance in the hostel to make sure that the hostels are livable, and then the children can go back to school and live in the hostel.
Okay, parents, as the SGB, the principal, the teachers, and then also you as the MEC, you met earlier on, but at the end of the day, we are talking about learners who's losing out on teaching and learning. How are you going to ensure that they make up for lost time? Because we know that next week they must get their first results.
It's a great concern to me that we have lost up to now 11 school days from the 29th of March. learners have lost 11 school days, but we did engage with the SGB and with the school management team that they will have to make sure that the lost time is being catch up. They must make sure there are additional classes, afternoon classes, and even during the school holidays to make sure that the lost time is carried up, or the lost time is being gained during the additional periods or time that they're going to use to teach the learners.
The last issue, MEC, parents also want the school to be lowered from a quintile 5 to a lower level. What is your stance on that?
The parents indicated that this school was previously a Model C school, but currently it is not a Model C school. The parents who are having their learners here are living in a poor community. Parents are unemployed, and the effects of COVID even increase the unemployment. And the school is currently at the quintile 5, but this is a challenge that is all over in the province. We will have to engage with the department at the national level so that we can re-look into the allocating quintiles to the various schools so that we can address the issue. Unfortunately, the department at the provincial level must be in consultation with the national office to make sure that the quintiles of the schools are being placed correctly. But currently, as the parents are saying, they are unemployed and they cannot afford the school because they are unemployed, and the children who are attending here are children from poor households.
When will learners return to school?
We have agreed that learners must attend school from tomorrow. All the learners must come back. The SGB agreed that the gates will be opened and education, teaching and learning will continue from tomorrow.
Thank you very much, MEC. Well known who that was the MEC of Education here in the Northern Cape, saying that they met with the parents, they find a way to solve all these issues that's on the table, saying that learners will then return tomorrow to school, all learners. Also, they will address the issue of lost teaching and learning time. Also, the issue of quintile 5 to be lowered. All stakeholders need to give input on that, but we know now that learners will then return to school tomorrow, and then these issues will then be addressed. Back to you in Studio Nompu.
Thank you very much, Reginald Witbooi, reporting there from the Northern Cape. More news for you after a short break. Do stay with us.